Hello and welcome to today's mobility workout, and today we're focusing on our hip flexors, our hip mobility and our lower back, just to try and open up a bit from where we sit so much during the day. We are constantly in this position where we're tensing our hip flexors, which are at the front of our legs here. So these muscles are contracted throughout the day, and that gives us a sort of, it's a constant tension leaning forwards, and it means that our glutes, our bum, are in a constant state of relaxation. So we end up being tilted in what's not a great position for our overall posture and joint health. So we're going to try and open that up today, and we're going to start just with a few exercises that will just open up our warm up our spine. So we're going to start with a child's pose. So start with your knees under your hips, and your feet out behind you. You can have them down or toes curled under, arms out in front of you, and just stretch, sit back onto your feet, and that's a nice way to just stretch out the back, get some movement in the shoulders, and then you can just come forward, drop your hips down, just gently, no need to cause any discomfort here, but just drop the shoulders back. So you've got a little movement through the spine, sit back. And then we're going to move into the cat-cow position. So we again come with our wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our hips, and then we're just going to round the spine and tuck our chin under. Then lower the stomach towards the floor, arching the back, nice and gently, no need to feel any pain, just a nice range of movement just to get that spine mobilized. And just look up as you curl your back, and then down as you stretch through the back and the shoulders. And just keep this movement going for a few more seconds. Just getting a nice stretch and a bit of movement in the spine. Okay, great. Right, next move is the downward dog or the bootstrap. So again, start with your hands under your shoulders and your feet towards the back of the mat. And what's going to happen is you're going to stick your bum in the air and try and get your feet close to flat on the floor, but I don't want you to overstretch yourself. This is just designed to get a bit of a stretch in the calves, so you can start to paddle your feet. Just a gentle movement, and if you can keep a nice straight line through your arms, through your shoulders and your back up to your bum in the air, that's perfect. And gradually you can start to feel the work. You should start to get a bit of warmth in your shoulders and in your abs as they help you keep your hips elevated. And you can move around if it feels good, just a gentle sway forwards and backwards. Paddle out those feet. Doesn't matter if your heels don't touch the floor. Just getting a nice range of movement there. Very good. Okay. Next up, we're going to put our left, we're going to put the right knee forward, so we're in a lunge position. Left knee on the floor under your hips. And then what you're going to do is just tilt your pelvis forward. So naturally we come like this. Just tilt your pelvis forward and you should start to feel a stretch in the hip flexor. Then raise your arms and lean forward into the lunge a little bit. Here you should feel that stretch opening up that hip flexor. And then come back to neutral. Make sure your pelvis is curled under. Lift your arms and push forward, getting that nice stretch in the hip. Okay, very good. Now we're going to do it the other way around. So right knee on the floor, left knee comes up, and this time don't forget we are curling the pelvis under, so it's sort of a tilt like this, tilt forward so you can feel already the stretch in the hip, and then lift the arms up and come forward. And you can squeeze your right bum, your glute, to help activate that stretch. And then come back to neutral. Then raise the arms, squeeze the bum, push forward a little bit more and feel that stretch. Just hold it here. There shouldn't be any pain, just mild discomfort is okay, just to the edge of where you feel comfortable. Opening up, then back to neutral. Okay, you should feel that starting to open up here. Next, we're going to, I'll come back to this position. So we'll start on the left side. And we're going to take the same position as we just had, but this time we're going to keep our arms down and we're just going to lean into that front leg. And here you should start to feel again stretch in the hip flexor. Keep nice and upright. And then we're going to just push back until our toes are facing the ceiling and you start to feel that hamstring stretch. Just come back as far as is comfortable. And then back forwards into that lunge position, stretching out the hip flexor again, and then back for the hamstring. So just feeling that stretch in the back of the leg, wherever feels comfortable. Again, not pain, just a little bit of discomfort is okay. Great, and then we'll swap to the other side. So we'll put the right leg forward, left leg goes back, and we're just going to keep nice and upright, and then lean forward into that, feel that stretch in the hip flexor, remind myself to stay upright, and then come back, move the hips back, and just keep as straight back as you can. You should feel that stretch in the hamstring. Hold there for a few seconds. Okay, and then lean forward again. Put the weight forward in the hips. Feel that nicely in the hip flexor opening up. This is great after a run. And then come back. Stretch those hamstrings again. Good. Okay. Next up, we're just going to put the left leg forward again, and then take our left hand and put it on the floor next to that foot. And then we're going to open up through the chest. So the right hand comes to the ceiling. And you just feel a nice stretch at the back of the leg, through your shoulders and your chest. And this is really opening up everything. Come back down. Open up again. And hold it there. Breathing. Don't worry if you can't get a huge range of motion here. The more you do this, the more you'll open up. It's all a matter of practice. Last time. Okay, very good. Come out of that position, and you guessed it, we're going to do the same on the other side now. So, right leg forward, and then take your left hand, put it down by your, right hand, put it down by your foot. The left hand opens up, and you may feel like I do that one side is tighter than the other and you've got less range of motion. So just hold it there for a moment, then come back down and open up again. Might be able to get a little bit more movement here. So mobility is all about strength through a range of motion. So we've got flexibility, where our muscles lengthen and allow us greater range of motion. But mobility is about using the muscles to control yourself through a greater range of motion. And hold it here. And back down. Very good. You should start to be feeling nice and open now. Okay. Next up, I want you to take your left leg, get it in front of you, and then drop the knee to the left side. Now you may not be able to keep your foot up in this right angle position, it may come back, and that's okay, whatever feels comfortable. So you just want to now come down as far as you can. You may get here, or you may be able to come down further. So you should be feeling the stretch in the outside of your left leg. Come down as far as you can. And if you can reach the floor, stretch out and just enjoy the stretch in this position. This is a great glute, i.e. the bum, the outside of the leg stretch. Just breathe. Hold. Okay, and then gently come back up. Use your arms to help you take that leg back to its original position. Then we're going to swap sides. So the right leg comes out in front. Put your hands down for support. Right knee to the floor. The back leg straight out behind you. And this is, I'm disappearing off the edge of the screen, but I'll try and shuffle back. Just come down to the floor, or wherever is comfortable, and we'll hold this position. Okay, great. If you come back up, next we're going to lie on our side. So lie on your left hand side, your right leg. I'm just going to hold the ankle, push our hips forward and stretch out the quads by pulling gently until you feel you've gone as far as you can without being in pain. So the hips come forward, that increases the stretch. And you can pull to extend the stretch. So you've got a lot of control over how far you take this stretch. A few more seconds in here. Nice, okay, gently release that. Then come over onto the other side. Use your elbow for support. Legs straight out, and then take your left ankle with your left hand and push your hips forward to initiate the stretch, and then you can pull your ankle towards your bum, and you'll start to feel the stretch at the front of the leg here. So breathe in, and then you can, as you breathe out, extend the stretch, push a little bit harder. Doesn't matter where that point is for you. The more you do this, the further you'll go. And 10 more seconds. Okay. So we're nearly done. A few more movements. And if you come onto your back, you'll put your knees just above your feet. Pardon me, because it seems to be very dusty in here today. And put your hands by your sides, and we're just going to do a glute bridge. So using your bum to push up, and then come back down. Push up, and then we're just going to do some small pulses at the top of the bridge. So this activates your bum, your glutes, which are the opposite muscles to the hip flexors that we've been stretching out. So that just helps correct that posture, that position that I talked about at the beginning, where we spend all day bent over forwards. This is helping us to work in the opposite direction, help that posture, that lower back, and hopefully help with any aches and pains that you're feeling in the hips and the knees. Okay, if you come up, the last thing we're going to do is just sit and cross our legs, and then gently fold forward so you can keep your back as straight as you can. You just gently come forward as far as is comfortable. And just hold it here, wherever feels good. Stretching out with your arms. Just hold that position, just enjoy it. And then gently use your hands to come back up. And that's the end of our session for today. So hopefully you'll find that the more you do this, and you can keep coming back to this routine, the more your hips will open up, the better your posture will feel when you're sitting, and you'll feel a better sort of range of movement and freedom in your legs and in your hips. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.